Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Display Line podcast. I'm your host, Olly.
And I'm your other host, Joey.
And obviously, you can see Joey is back for this week. Last week, we had time restraints, like I said. So, we're going to be discussing about Shuttleworth Airshow today and the preparation that I will be putting into it. And obviously, Joey will be interviewing me to this week and next week after the show.
Yeah, I mean, Shuttleworth is not an show that I've personally been to before, but I was looking at it for this year. Unfortunately, the timing didn't quite work out. Uh, Dad works at a school, so he has to kind of work with those timings and stuff. But it does look like a great show, and I've got a few questions for you, as you mentioned. Unfortunately, there's no news segment this week, as you can tell. We've kind of skipped over it because I believe we mentioned it in a promo. We haven't actually filmed those yet because it's warm.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is one thing that we will be mentioning during the next news segment, which will be a monthly news recap and roundup because we figured that we're filling the first portion of episodes with the news. People aren't going to watch as much
Because
into the
it's like we
actual
do like
main portion of the
30 minutes
episode.
of just news, so we thought we'd just take
Yeah,
the most important news stories and just put that into an hour episode or so and release that at the end of the month, because then people who like the news can listen to the news for the month, and people who don't really like the news or just like listen to it just to listen to the podcast, they can just listen to the normal podcast. But before we start, you will hear a buzzing in the back. Funnily enough, I have a fan on, so just ignore that. I can try and get rid of it in editing, but I'm sure you'll probably hear it anyway. So Joey, do you want to get us started?
yeah. So I've never been before. Have you?
I haven't. I don't think it was the Festival of Flight Air Show, but I have been to Shuttleworth Drive-in Air Show. I think that was about July, August 2020 or 2021. So I have been to Shuttleworth before, but only as a drive-in air show. And at that time, I still had that little red box camera that I got in 2015. So I don't. I mean, first of all, I don't even know where the photos are. They're like long gone. I've got no idea where they are. We can't find them. But yeah, I now obviously have a much better camera setup.
Yeah, quite the upgrade from a little red box camera to the one you've got now. Um, so you haven't been to this specific air show before. Why are you deciding to go this year?
Because Riot got cancelled, unfortunately, as everyone knows. Unfortunately, I was going to go to Riot with my mum for 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and now it's turned into a one-day show with my whole family. So, yeah, that's going to be real joyous, that one, to be honest. But, I mean, I guess it's better than nothing. I'm seeing some aircraft that I probably wouldn't have seen, if I
Yeah.
hadn't gone to this one. Like, well, I won't spoil it because obviously Joey probably has a question asking me about aircraft, so but I won't spoil too early in the podcast.
Yeah, that's why I was actually looking at Shuttleworth. I looked at a few different air shows. I've ended up actually choosing none of them. Unfortunately, timings didn't quite work out on that one. Busy family, busy household. But Shuttleworth was one I was looking at instead of Riyadh, as well as Cosford as well. But that was a bit late by that point. Everyone kind of shifted to Cosford, and they sold out pretty quickly. But it did look like a great display. Shuttleworth is looking like it's going to be a great display. And honestly, the lineup is a very intriguing one. I noticed a lot of old aircraft, like World War II era aircraft, a lot of prop aircraft, and I'm wondering which one are you most looking forward to?
Well, okay, I'll give you my top three because I mean the one that I'm most looking forward to is the BF-109 G4. It's the first time I believe in 30 years that a BF-109, what am I, BF, well, I don't even know what I was going to say there. BF-109 has displayed in the UK. The last one I believe was around 1990, and the last one crashed, which is the last one in the UK. So it'd be awesome to see a BF-109 displaying. I've seen the ME-109, which is the Spanish Bouchon variant, but I've never seen the BF-109 before. So yeah, there's quite a distinct difference between the ME-109 and BF-109 being the front, with the front of the nose just being very big and just very bulgy on the ME-109, and on the BF-109 it's a quite round, smooth finish. So there are some quite distinct differences, but yeah, it's going to be such an awesome aircraft to see. Also, second place, Avro Anson. It usually attends Little Grandstand every year, but as a static aircraft, it never usually flies, unfortunately, which I mentioned last week, I believe, with Alfie. Um, who was talking about it then. And also want to see the Bristol Blenheim as well. That is also an amazing, pretty cool and rare aircraft as well. And finally, sort of level with the Blenheim is the DH-88 Comet, which we actually talked in quite a lot of detail in one of the previous promos. We put one of the sound of like the winds up as it went past, and that's obviously part of Shuttleworth's collection.
Yeah, I mean, seeing aircraft like the BF-109 returning to an airshow space is something that you only really see every couple of years from a different aircraft, and it's something special to see this return because so many people are looking at older aircraft and wanting to see them fly again, see them in the airshow space, and to be there to see its first return in a long time, especially an aircraft that's not flown in 30 years in airshows in the UK. That's quite a long time to go away and then return from, so it's definitely gonna be something special to see.
Yeah, it really will be. I mean, I'm only going on the Saturday, unfortunately. Like I said, we went from a 3-day event now to 1-day event, so I won't be going on the Sunday. But it'll still be awesome to see on the Saturday. I mean, I'll be literally roasting alive. It's going to be 30 degrees, so I might not make it back next week for next week's podcast, everyone, because I may have blown up, imploded, and just evaporated into the atmosphere, and that'll be the end of everyone at Shuttleworth. Hopefully, that's not going to happen, but looking at the temperature, everyone is just going to evaporate. So that's going to be quite unfortunate. But yeah, hopefully I'll get some good pictures at the end of it, especially of the BF-109.
Yeah, I believe you are going on the warmest day of Shuttleworth as well,
Yeah,
because I think the UK is starting to cool down,
on the
over the weekend,
Sunday.
but not
Yeah,
quite Saturday, yeah,
on the Sunday I think
it'll
it's
be a
about
lot cooler
eight
on the
degrees
Sunday.
warmer. I think it's about 8 degrees warmer on the Sunday than it is on the Saturday. No, cooler, not warmer. Sorry, cooler. It's 8 degrees
Cooler.
cooler on the Sunday. I think it's about 23, 24 on the Sunday and about 30, 31 on the Saturday. So it's quite a big difference there.
Yeah, this heat is quite unbearable. I'm sitting here sweating. That's why this episode will probably be quite a little bit
Yeah,
shorter as well, because we don't want to sit here for 2 hours going through all the news, going through all the airshow announcements, and doing the main segment because it is just too warm for
yeah.
that. I mean, records have been broken not far from you.
Literally
The records have
5
been
minutes away
local
from me.
records. Yeah,
Literally 5 minutes away from me.
where
Yesterday,
I'm at.
in
Yeah,
Gosport, which is pretty close. Obviously, I'm not leaking anywhere near where I live or anything, but in Gosport, which is relatively close to me, I think it was like the warmest part of the UK yesterday at like 36.1 degrees or something like that. Um, and then today, I think it was about 39, 40 degrees, it said on the weather apps by me. So very, very hot.
yeah. I mean, local records where I'm at were broken, like the hottest temperature for where I'm at. Yeah, this is not fun. I can't imagine that it'll be as fun at an air show either. You sat there in the sun all day, even with sun cream, you're still gonna be melting.
Yeah,
Actually, it'll make it harder for sun cream at an air show because it'll melt off your face within 5 minutes. You'll have to keep reapplying it. That's gonna be certainly fun for the thousands of people going
yeah.
to Shuttleworth. Um, but back to the questions. You said that you've been to the thing from Shuttleworth in like 2022 that wasn't quite an air show, but
2020.
it was along the lines 2020 summer. Um, if you had to rate that from 1 to 10 to then compare for next week's episode, where you'll rate everything from 1 to 10, how would you rate your experience in 2020?
I'm gonna be honest. I remember about one display. Um, So I can't really give you an exact rating, but I know the reason why we're going back to Shuttleworth instead of like Headcorn or Cosford or something is because I know that I just remember enjoying the air show, which is why I kind of asked, can we go to Shuttleworth rather than Headcorn or Cosford and stuff? And it was like, yeah. So I'd probably say probably about a 7. Again, I can't really remember all of the things that displayed there because that was 5 years ago. No, 6 years ago, and obviously I just like wasn't conscious then because like who was. So I have to say yeah, probably about a 7, but we'll see if this weekend tops that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, the lineup is looking great. A lot of World War II aircraft. I know that I personally prefer jets, but you cannot really beat a World War II aircraft. Just knowing the history that those have been through, seeing them still flying today, and having so many in one area at the same time. It's quite an experience, and I do wish I was going. But back to the questions. I think this is more of an interesting question that I came up with. Midlands Air Festival this year was quite different from your other experiences at Midlands Air Festival because of this podcast.
Yeah.
Are you obviously you're hoping for something similar? Are you expecting anything to be different from just a normal air show, or are you hoping, but are you expecting?
Well, the Polish heritage flight, actually, you don't actually know this. I haven't told you that because well, you don't know. You might check the Instagram or whatever. But I might be able to get an interview with the pilot of the Hurricane, the Polish heritage flight Hurricane. I was speaking to the social media guy who was like, he actually enjoys the podcast, so he was saying, look, come over and obviously we can get you an interview of the pilot or at least meet the pilot if not. And also Adam from Plains TV, like one of the main commentators from Plains TV, he also said, look, come over to the commentary box and you can shadow us for a few of the displays because he actually pulled me out of the slipstream enclosure for the Sunday to like do a fake commentary on the global stars, global all stars extra 300 Chris Burkett display. Now obviously I wasn't perfect. I did mention that in the Midlands on ground episode, and how it wasn't like the perfect commentary. But Adam was like, it's definitely a good. He recognised that I had about 3 or 4 hours to prepare for it after Midlands Airshow on the Saturday, and then to come back on the Sunday and then to do that. He said it was quite impressive, to be honest. And there's not a lot of young commentators. You might notice at air shows, most of the commentators are probably 30, 40 plus. And Plains TV, I think the youngest person other than Adam is like 52, I think he said like that. And he said that obviously you need new commentators and stuff. So yeah, I think he's looking for young people. And obviously with the podcast, he came over and was like, look, come and commentate on the Extra 300 display. Obviously without a microphone or whatever, literally just to him. And then, yeah, so he said, he'll be commentating Shuttleworth. So I'll hopefully go over to him, say hello and shadow him for some of the displays.
Yeah, I mean, that is fun. It is quite incredible seeing all the opportunities that this has given us as younger people moving into the space. You don't really see as many young people doing what we're doing, putting themselves out there to try and get into the space as bold as they can. And obviously, we're forever grateful for those giving us the opportunities as well,
It is quite
because they don't
funny
have
though,
to.
because you get a lot of opportunities from this, but it's actually quite funny and amusing to see some of the hate we've gotten on. Do you know the extreme weather promo that we did? It was so funny. We got about 30 hate comments. It was actually amusing. Some of the insults on there I've never seen before, and I will actually be using those probably as an argument if I ever need them. And I know there's a guy on the TikTok as well who was arguing about the UK just like never gets tornadoes. I don't even know. This guy just did not make his mind up. One second he was talking about El Nino doing all the UK stuff. Then he was like El Nino isn't until next year, and then he was talking about how it doesn't affect the UK, and then he went back to saying that it is affecting the UK. Then he said that tornadoes aren't possible. Then he went, no, tornadoes are possible, but they're not going to happen in the UK. And then he went to tornadoes will happen, but not this week for 2 weeks. It's like, what is this guy on about? Like, this guy is just. He just does not know what he's talking about. And like I said on Instagram, he got like 20 or 30 hate comments. It was so funny seeing some of them. Obviously, we just ignore them and block it. It's not that deep. It's actually quite amusing. I was so tempted to make a post saying how they are amusing, and I actually want to see some more because it was just that funny. On seeing some of the insults of that. But yeah, again, like we said, me and Joey just don't care. It's just actually quite. It's more funny than anything, to be honest. And obviously, I told Alfie about some of them, and obviously, he found some of them funny as well. So it is quite funny, and I just don't understand why people got so phased over extreme weather in the UK. I don't know. But it was quite funny, to be honest. Like I said, quite amusing.
Yeah, well, an update for that guy on the TikTok. Toro has confirmed 2 tornadoes in the UK this month already, and we're expected to get several more. So
Yeah,
tornadoes do happen in the UK. I don't know where that misconception came from. I guess you grew up
yeah.
hearing about them in America, and only in America. There was one in Russia as well the other
Oh, yeah,
day.
only year
So it's
three or
not just
something like that.
America. Yeah, there's no specific rule about America having them. They're just a spinning column of air caused
Yeah,
by low pressure. Like, there's no special. Obviously, America gets the most of them because they're big and they have the right sort of
atmospheric
mountains. And
conditions and stuff.
yeah, right, they got the mountains in the right spot and the Gulf in the right spot to have a lot of them. But we have the right stuff to get some of them.
Yeah.
Um, to this month already, and the storms are only really kicking off now as we speak. There's a few in Scotland. There's one in Ireland. There's a few in the English Channel. Unfortunately, the ones in the English Channel are the strongest and the ones not making their way towards us. I
Yeah,
would love to
they're
see
literally
some in
going.
the storm.
Basically, so I'm at the south of the UK, like I said already, and they're going like this all the way up past, like they're going over Ireland, like they spawn under me, right? So like pretty much directly under me. Then they go like that, and then they hit Ireland, and then just like go that way and go over Scotland. So they're going literally around, like as much around us as they possibly could, which is which is quite funny. But anyway, should probably get back to the questions.
Yeah, so that was all the ones that I had listed, but I guess I'll have to come up with some on the spot. I mean, you said that the interviewing thing. Are you expecting to do any specific? Are you expecting to do any interviews, any specific pilots, or any displays other than the one you've already mentioned?
Nothing specific for now. I've only literally spoken to the Polish Heritage Flight and Adam at Midlands. So whatever interviews I can get, obviously I'll get. I got 4 at Midlands, with that being Team Raven, Red One. I can't remember the rest. I think the commentator. Oh yeah, Ando the commentator, and I think there's one more. I can't actually remember, but yeah. So I'll see
The
if I can. And yeah, David Petter's in the Harvard. So yeah, I'll see if I can get some more at Shuttleworth. If not, though, it's not quite as the same as Midlands. They don't just like appear. They're not just sat on a flight line waiting to be like spoken to and stuff. So it's a bit different to Midlands, but I can see how many I can try and get.
Yeah, and as for the commentary with Adam from Plains TV, are you hoping to maybe commentate a few displays? Are you hoping to commentate any specific ones?
Well, it'd be nice if I could commentate the extra 300. What's his name with Chris Burkett, because obviously I commentate that to Adam, and I updated the script since then to accommodate for what his display is. Obviously, I showed to you on the podcast episode on Midlands on Ground the, as Joey call it, hieroglyphics of his display, which I understand. But yeah, it's pretty simple. Once you know what the display is, you can literally match it up. But um, there were some maneuvers that he completely changed mid-display, or I just went off my own script, thinking that I was just the main character and I could just predict what he was going to do, even though my script like said that he was not going to do that, so I don't really know. But now, obviously, I have a better script, and I mean, it would be really awesome. But if not, I mean, even shadowing is pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean, what I'd recommend is maybe watching him fly this time, just in case he changes anything up again. Maybe trying to surprise you, changing a few maneuvers.
Well, that
Maybe
was
you
the
can
thing because
see in real time.
on the Saturday, he did like 3 or 4 maneuvers completely different to the ones on Sunday. So I recorded the whole display on Saturday, made a script from that display, and then like on the second maneuver he had already changed it. So I believe on the Saturday he just did a vertical spin. So he pulled up, did a stall turn, and then just like did that down. On the Sunday he went up, did like a backflip thing, and then came down, and then like did that. So it was like 2 completely different maneuvers. And obviously I didn't know that was going to happen. So I was talking about the Saturday display, and then you can't swear or anything, but I was like, oh, and then almost said the S word because we were trying to keep this family friendly. So I'm not going to say anything. But obviously you already know what that is. But obviously you can't swear while you're commentating because I mean you probably get fired pretty quickly and never invited back to an air show.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard anyone say anything even remotely uh, not family friendly on commentary at any show or any stream. I guess on streams you might
Yeah.
get someone in the background swearing. Can't really help that. But commentary is kind of an important job for all the families
Yeah.
watching. Um, that's kind of all the questions that I have or that I can come up with. I might come up with some more while we go through the next bit. But have you got any questions for me regarding Shuttleworth, maybe if I might be going or anything like that?
I mean, I hadn't thought of any to be fair, but if you were going this year, what would you be, other than the BF109, what would you want to see?
Ooh, well, I did pull up the visiting aircraft page so I
And
could have
don't
a
say
look, but I don't think
Typhoon because that's like the most obvious thing, considering the fact you like jets.
yeah,
So, other than the
I mean,
two
I would
very
say the
obvious
Typhoon,
ones,
other than the two obvious ones, let's have a look. Team Raven are good. There is so many aircraft attending.
yeah.
Honestly, the extra 300 was a very good display from what I saw at Midlands. Honestly, I might have to go with the extra 300 from Chris Burkett.
Yeah, fair enough. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, you haven't really seen the rest, have you, ever before? So that's sort of,
Uh, Not. I mean, I've always seen the Hurricane from
well, yeah,
BBMF. I've seen that. I've seen Team Raven as well. They're very good. But in terms of ones that I would go there to see, I'd probably say the Extra 300. The B-17 was a good one to see.
no, because you'd never seen
Uh,
that before, had you?
yeah, I'd never seen the
I don't know how
B-17
though. That
before.
is just crazy.
It just never goes up north, I guess. It might go even further north than me, but it never goes to, at least that I can remember, Blackpool or Southport. As for some others, I mean, Team Raven's pretty obvious. Um, and this is just what I'm looking through. The Saturday lineup, there's going to be some other ones. B-25. That looks quite interesting. I'd like to see that. There is so many aircraft going. It's kind of hard to
Well,
pick.
do you know, as we're on this
Uh,
topic, let's go through the aircraft lineup because this is probably the best. Because we
yeah,
were going to do it at some point, so we might as well go through it now. And I will have to get my phone up for this, so excuse my manners, ladies and gentlemen. But
yeah.
unfortunately, I don't just know this stuff off the top of my head.
Should I start going through the Saturday ones while you pull that up?
I've got it up here.
Um, oh, you've got it up already. That was
Yeah,
quite
because I
quick.
was looking at it
I
before
had
the
it up ready
podcast. To be
just to
fair.
ask questions. Yeah, I had it up to ask questions if I could come up with any about them, but it's kind of hard to ask questions about individual aircraft. Like, do you like the P-51? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Um, can't really do that about every single display. The BF-109 is the first on the Saturday. I don't know. This is probably not in
Yeah, it
order
won't be an order. Yeah, yeah,
of
yeah.
the displays, but we've got the BF-109, which I would love to see one day. If you hadn't have said excluding the BF-109, that probably would
Yeah,
have been
obviously.
my number one
That's
pick.
why I said yeah.
Um, yeah, we also have the P-47D. That looks like the one you'd see if you imagine a plane in the movie Cars or like Toy Story. Like, it just looks like the ones you'd see in that like cartoon movies.
Yeah, fair enough.
Um, Same with the P-51 as well. I guess the
I
movie
think there's about
planes.
3 or 4 of those coming this year. I know there's at least 2
Uh,
coming. Yeah, there's 2 coming up
yeah,
from what I can see on here. We also have, like I said, the Avro from RAF Station Czechoslovakia that went to RF Cosford Air Show, which is one of them, like I said, I want to see. Also the Bristol Blenheim, again, an aircraft that I really wanted to see. And the BBMF Hurricane. I'm not sure if the BBMF Spitfire is going, but I do know that well, obviously I know that the BBMF Hurricane's going because it says on the website.
yeah. The Hurricane actually did a fly past. I got some nice pictures. I believe last weekend, at Morecambe Armed Forces Day. On the Saturday, they had a Dakota fly past, and on the Sunday they had the Hurricane fly past from BBMF. I unfortunately was not there on the Sunday. I only went on the Saturday to get the Dakota because I don't think I've seen it before.
Well, I went down to Armed Forces
But
Day Portsmouth and they cancelled basically everything other than the tutor that did literally 2 passes. So, tutor display, yeah, tutor display's going to be there. Comes along, just goes flies straight and then flies about 5,000 feet in the air, does a little wing waggle, and then just goes back to Daedalus. So, I mean, that's pretty pointless even coming down at that point.
yeah, the Dakota was great on the Saturday. It did like I want to say in excess of 10 different passes across the coast. It did the big flyover of the actual parade and everything, and then just went back and forth across the water, all different angles, different speeds, and it's quite an incredible aircraft. But the Hurricane was there on the Sunday, which unfortunately I was not there to see. Um, but you'll be there to see. Actually, yeah, you'll be there to see it at Shuttleworth, so that kind of makes up for that one. We also have Team Raven. Saw them at Midlands. That was an incredible display. I kind of expect to see them a few more times this year, going to
Yeah.
either Southport or Blackpool or both, um, as well as a Hurricane from the Historic Aircraft
Which is the
Collection.
Polish one. I'm pretty sure that's the Polish one. As in the Polish Heritage Flight, which obviously I mentioned earlier. So we also have the Turbulent display team, which is one of my personal display teams, and also, in fact, the first ever aircraft thing that was the top of my list. It was my first favourite act at an air show, so that's awesome that I finally get to see them again after a few years. We also have an American Piper J3C 65 Cub. I mean, I don't know why they didn't just say Piper Cub. I mean, people are like normal, public aren't going to tell the difference between a Piper J3C 65 Cub and a Piper Cub. So yeah, I mean, it's a bit blue as well, to be fair. So pretty blue that.
It also has a star on it as well, just in case
Does,
you wanted a
yeah.
bit of pizzazz going to it. We also have the B-17 Flying Fortress. We saw this one at Midlands Air Festival. Um, Honestly, one of my favourite displays at Midlands Air Festival. I'm not sure that that reflected in the review because I don't remember the review,
I think you put it
but
as like a
looking
7
back
or
on it
something.
now, yeah, looking back on it now, I can say that it was one of my favourites just because I've never seen it before. We also have the Bristol Scout Type C. Not a whole lot that I know on it. Yeah, there you go. by David Bremner. I don't know, I assume he's the pilot.
Well, yeah, I
Um,
mean, yeah, probably.
yeah,
We also have
you'd
the
hope so.
Clem L25 dash. I don't know if that's an IA or an LA because they just a capital I and a uncapital L just look the same. So it could be IA or LA. I'm not too sure. That's privately owned. We also have the B.A. Swallow Space 2. That was also privately owned. I mean, there's a half in frame plane there. I mean, I don't know what happened to the wing, but I mean, it's gone in it, I suppose.
Yeah, we also have the P-51D Mustang flown by Robert Tyrrell. This is the one with the red on the back of it. I believe we mentioned that in the promo. How we might have done, I'm not
Pretty
100%
sure we
sure.
did, yeah.
And we also have the Extra 300S flown by Chris Burkett. We've already spoken plenty on that one.
We also have the back jet provost from Viper Classic Jets. Probably my favourite liveries that I've ever seen. I don't know, which is again another livery that went to Dunsford Wings and Wheels. Now I doubt it's the same aircraft, but it's the same livery. So at the end of the day, I'm just a bit nostalgic for Dunsfold. It was my first ever air show. We also have the Bristol F.2B fighter, which is not very fightery and more very biplaney, and would probably got shot down by like a handgun. But yeah, I mean fighter, I guess.
We also have the Bristol M1C. Once again, just one of them very old aircraft. Not a whole lot of information that I can see on it. We also have de Havilland DH-88 Comet, which I know a bit more about and I want to see. Unfortunately, I won't be seeing it probably this year or maybe even ever. But it is quite a cool looking aircraft.
We also have the Miles Hawk Tour Speed 6, which is quite a cool aircraft. I mean, never probably seen it before. I mean, it's what part of the collection aircraft. I might have seen it back in the Drive and Air show, but I'm not sure. So yeah, I mean, a beige and black aircraft, you can't really go wrong. You can sit in. I mean, you can see it in the nighttime and in the daytime, so it's pretty fire that. We also have the Wise Old Elf, also known as the Parnell Elf. So I mean, that's a cream and green aircraft. Another biplane. So a lot of their historic aircraft are biplanes, which is pretty cool. Nothing wrong with that. And just something quite rare to add to the the photo aircraft collection. So just quickly before Joey moves on to one of my favourite aircraft I'm actually looking forward to. I have made like a list of just aircraft, literally aircraft registration and serial number of good photos that I've got. So I have like a list somewhere of just a list of planes that I have got good photos of, just in case I ever need to post them.
Yeah, we have the Percival Provost T1, which is a nice army camo looking aircraft. I'm not sure on all the information on that. We're just going through the list.
I mean,
We
it
also have
flies, to be fair.
it does fly, yeah. Well, hopefully, the picture is on the ground, so you never
Well,
know.
yeah.
We also have what I'm going to definitely butcher the pronunciation of, the Polycarpov PO.
Yeah.
It's definitely wrong, isn't it?
I don't know, but
Um,
it's just the name. It's just the Polycarpov. It just sounds like polystyrene.
yeah, yeah, it's got a red star on the back, hence why it's not in
I
English.
mean, it's Russian, to be
Um,
fair.
but
Well,
yeah, that would
Soviet.
explain the name.
We also have the Sopwith Camel. I mean, if you don't know the Sopwith Camel, then just don't come to the air show because that's just like the most well-known British biplane out there.
Mm.
Joey has no idea what that aircraft is. We also have the Southern Martlet, which is gay, apparently. I mean, it has GAAY as the registration. You can't really see that, but it's got gay as the registration, which is quite a cool aircraft. So we've got a
Yeah,
gay aircraft flying, which, I mean, got to be inclusive these days, I suppose.
yeah. I mean, you got so many historic aircraft. You've got to kind of give a little nod to modern times as well. We also have the uh, we have the Supermarine Spitfire VC. It's one of the many variants of
Mark
Spitfire.
5C will be
And
that.
then yeah, VC. I spend too much time on apps with voice channels. We also have the once again gonna mispronounce this. I've somehow landed with all the hard to pronounce ones. The Schneider EON primary. Very unique looking aircraft. I'll give it that. Um, Kind of looks like a bird if like someone in the 1800s was like make a big bird and you only had what was in your house. You'd make that. So some unique aircraft.
We also have the Compass Swift, which is like an unenclosed version of the St. Louis or St. Louis, whatever it is. If you know what aircraft that is, obviously it looks like this. Well, the Compass Swift looks like this. The St. Louis doesn't, obviously. And we also have the Western Lysander, which went to Duxford, but not this one. This one's at Shuttleworth, but the one that went to Duxford is also a Western Lysander. And obviously, I did see this one at the drive-in air show, so it's quite fire, to be fair.
Yeah, and I think that's all the collection aircraft for the Saturday as well. We have. I'm not seeing any new ones. It goes back to the start for me.
If you scroll
Where are you
down,
seeing that?
yeah, scroll down a bit, innit?
Oh, there's so many. There's
Ah,
more.
there is. Nah, there is,
There's
to
a
be
lot
fair.
more. Oh,
Well,
that's fun.
I mean, one
Um,
of them's part of one display team, or four of them are part of one display team, so.
yeah, we've got an entire. What? How many aircraft is that? Like 8 more evening aircraft. So we have the P-38 Lightning on the Saturday for the evening. This by the Flying Bulls. P-38, great aircraft. I think I saw it once at a Blackpool Southport. It was one of my favourites then. Will probably one of my favourites again if I ever see it. And we also have a B-25 Mitchell, which I believe I mentioned earlier.
Did
Um,
you?
it looks quite cool. Yeah, I think when he was asking me what my favourite one in the lineup was, I think I briefly mentioned
Well,
it.
oh
Uh,
yeah, the B-25, yeah. So it's quite a fire
yeah,
aircraft. I've seen it at Midlands and what's the other one? Sywell. That's the two that I've seen this flying bull. Yeah, flying bulls one at.
we also have 3 more for the evening. We have an F4U Corsair, also by the Flying Bulls. Actually, most of these are from the Flying Bulls,
Literally, yeah,
except one of them. And then a P-51 Mustang from the Flying Bulls as well. Shock. And then we
yeah.
also have
The DFH
once again another
Habicht
yeah
E-Glider
hard
by
to
Christopher
pronounce.
Zahn. So it's a glider.
Yeah,
I mean, it doesn't have any outer propulsion, so it glides. Funnily enough, well, that's why it's a glider. So
that would be why it's a glider.
yeah,
Yeah,
so it'd be like gliding around the sky instead of flying around the sky. If you catch my drift. We also have the
yeah,
Blackburn monoplane. I mean, monoplane only has one wing. Well, I mean, it has two wings, but it only has like one wing. You know, biplanes have like four wings. This one only has one. We also have the
yeah.
No, that's Russian. How do I do French? Oh, oui, oui. Or is that Italian?
Um,
I don't know. The
no,
Blay
that's fine.
Riot oui, oui type 11 Roman numerals and that X1 is 11, I think. We also have the
Yeah,
Bristol box kite, which is probably going to crash into a tree like its triplane variant did, because it looks the exact same as the one that crashed, just with two wings instead of three.
well, it looks
Um,
different now because the other one's in a tree.
well, yeah, obviously. We also have the Depodussin, which is it's a plane made out of fabric.
Yeah,
We also have the English Electric Wren, which I think only I could fit in because I don't exactly know where the pilot's going to sit in that. And we also have the
yeah,
Hawker Signet replica, which is not the actual Hawker Signet. It's actually a replica of the Hawker Signet, hence why it's called the replica Hawker Signet. So that is the evening
yeah,
flying displays and the daytime flying displays, hosted to you by me and Joey himself.
yeah. And that was just for the Saturday. I'm pretty sure the Sundays is almost exactly the same.
Other than you have like the
Looks like there's
Typhoon,
a few.
and I think
Yeah,
yeah, you have the
there's a
Typhoon
few
and
different ones.
yeah. I think the flying bulls are flying in the
Uh,
daytime instead of the nighttime for that. Um,
yeah, the daytime looks to be pretty much the same. There's a Miles Magister by David Bramwell, which is a unique, like very bright yellow looking aircraft. I will give it that. Any other
There's
ones?
also a Oster that they added recently. So there's an Oster. There's also a Tiger Moth, Sopwith Dove. There is Mark Jeffries instead of Chris Burkett. There's also a Mudgery Cap 10B, North American Navion, and Oster, like I said. And for the evening changes there, instead of the other ones, there's an Avro 504K. There is a Blackburn B2, de Havilland Chipmunk, Comet, Gloucester Gladiator. Oh, sorry, this is afternoon, not evening. Um, Miles Magister, RAF SE5A, Sopwith Pup, Triplane, Spitfire, Lysander, Piper Cub, and a tiger moth. And instead of the flying
Yeah.
bulls, which will be flying in the daytime, there's a typhoon, Avaranson, and DFS Hapbict E-glider. And then the collection aircraft for the evening is another Avaranson, but a different one. The English Electric Wren, the replica Hawker Signet, the Blackburn monoplane, Blairet Type 11, the plane that didn't crash into a tree's basically cousin, well, the plane that crashed into the tree's cousin, and the Depidussin. So that rounds up the lineup for both days at Shuttleworth Festival of Flight.
Yeah, there is also a few things you weren't sure that. I'm pretty sure we had a conversation ages ago about um Festival of Flights and Airshows, and I mentioned that Shuttleworth is both, and it has a fun fair. It
It
also has a
does, yeah.
BMX stunt show. It has trains or tractors,
I think it has a train
all of the
somewhere,
above.
probably, yeah.
Uh, yeah, it also has an anti-aircraft gun, so hopefully that's not turned on mid-air show. Um, Discovery zones, whatever those are.
It's like
Um,
Forza Horizon, isn't it? You
oh,
gotta like
STEM,
discover Shuttleworth instead of
uh,
discover Japan.
STEM activities, so educational experiences.
Boring.
Um, Shuttleworth
Boring.
House, so I guess just look at a house.
Yeah, you look. Yeah,
They
literally,
got
it's just a
they got
house.
peacocks.
They've got what?
They got peacocks.
All right.
They've also got vintage bus rides if you wanted a vintage bus ride. And then they've also
Yeah.
got on their website a quote unquote want to get involved question mark. I can only assume that's not actually an attraction, but more so for the
Yeah,
website.
I would
Um,
think that. That would be my first thought if I had to think about that.
yeah, you never know. Just in case it is, I figured I'd mention it. But I will say I am getting FOMO right now because it does sound like a good show.
You should come to Little Grandson if you can. I don't know if we talked about it already, but if you go to Little Grandson, I'm sure a lot of these aircraft will be there, to be fair. Other than the ones at
Yeah, it's
Shuttleworth,
probably a
but.
little bit late. I don't know when Little Grandstand is, but
Oh,
I'm
like
pretty sure my parents
end of
already locked in.
August. Last of weekend of August.
We'll have a look. Of course, we'll have a
We'll
look.
have a look, of course. We'll have a look. Yeah, exactly. So this is exactly what. This is one of the instances where we just think of the same thing at the same time.
Yeah, yeah, it's quite a busy time as the 6 week holidays with my dad being a teacher. We kind of have to just pack all the events into one 6 week period, but shows is kind of the exception because I just ask over and over again, and then
Oh, and the
eventually it kind of
typhoon's going to that, so your dad will have something to look forward to. You can see the typhoon at that. So
yeah, sure he'll have
yeah,
a whale of a time driving there and back.
yeah. I mean, it's like
I
what
think that's
three,
the
4 hours
main
for
thing.
me. So you should just learn to drive, innit?
Yeah, probably 2 or 3. And now I'm good. Probably 2 or 3 hours for me. So it's quite a long way away, and quite a long way away in terms of time as well. Right now, Shuttleworth is actually you're weirdly enough you're actually heading there right now.
Yeah, I will be heading
You're
there right
probably there by
now.
now.
I might be there by
You might be
now.
there by now.
It's possible that I'm there
Yeah,
by now, but it's not like confirmed that
you're
I'm
doing a
there
good
by
job
now.
of making it look like you're in your room right now,
I know, it's
considering
quite
you're on
crazy.
your way
You
to an
know,
air
I have
show. Yeah,
some. Well, yeah, I have basically. I'm just like one of them hologram devices that you just put in, and then obviously you can like speak through that. So I'm just in the car right now,
yeah, yeah.
so it's pretty fire to be
Well,
fair.
I think that kind of does it for this episode. It was kind of I don't want to say rushed one because we still had quite a fun time recording it, but we kind of had to get it done relatively quick
Well,
because we're both
we
dying
made
to
more
each other.
jokes that we wouldn't usually. We were more ourselves in this episode rather than just putting on a performance where we sat there, for an hour just looking at the camera again. Yeah, so there was an aircraft that got announced for an air show. Yeah, Joey, what are your thoughts? And then Joey will be like,
Yeah, it's good.
and then I'll be like, yeah, it flies in the sky. It has a 5.67 milliliter engine that takes
Mm.
fuel. Anyway, we were more joking around this episode because that's what me and Joey do, and we want to not put a cover
You
on for
don't
the
want to
internet.
sound like robots.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
don't
we don't
want to.
want to
We
sound like
decided that we
we're
don't.
reading from something.
Well, yeah, because social media is like a lie and everything. And like everyone who's happy on the social
Yeah,
media is like not happy in that. So we're like we're
yeah. The
showing you
only
that we
thing
are
I had
happy.
was like I had like 5 questions that I came up with in the span of 30 seconds while
Yeah,
you went to grab a drink. That was all I had up, and then I ran out of those super quick. So I just
yeah.
came up with a few on the spot, but that
And
was
then we
it.
talked
It
about the
was
plane
it was
crashing at
that fun.
Shuttleworth, and then it didn't crash at Shuttleworth, and then like it has a twin brother somewhere in Shuttleworth. So
Yeah. But it's been one of the more fun ones to record, even though it's physically painful because it's boiling hot
Yeah,
and
I mean, we have added some
just
slightly
just
not offensive jokes, but I mean, we did talk about a plane crashing into a tree, which is
yeah, but he
quite
was
funny.
fine.
But
So
well,
the
yeah,
plane
exactly.
wasn't, but the pilot was fine. I mean, mainly
Exactly.
because it was
So.
going about 3 miles an hour, so like you could run into a tree quicker than that. But
Yeah,
like
probably.
it's fine to joke about things provided everyone's okay. I think, in my opinion, depending on the
Yeah,
subject, obviously. There's a
exactly.
few maybe you don't
And
touch, but
we also talked about the gay inclusive plane that they've got there, because obviously you have to have the gay
yeah, that's
inclusion
being
and stuff.
inclusive.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. We are very
yeah,
inclusive
yeah,
people. We feel like,
yeah. I
and we're
mean, I
not saying
try.
that one as a joke. We are saying that we are actually
Yeah, we
inclusive,
are.
obviously.
Provided people honour and each other, say
Well,
whatever you
exactly. Yeah,
want.
literally, that's what I'm saying. So
Yeah,
we hope
I
you
don't want
enjoyed
to say
this
provided
episode
it's legal
anyway.
because
Yeah.
not every country, not every
Well,
country.
yeah, not every country yet, unfortunately. But that's political stuff, and we're not getting into that nonsense
Yeah,
because that is ridiculous and stupid, and no one cares. So we do hope you enjoyed this episode, everyone. We hope you enjoyed our little run through of Shuttleworth. Next week, when we're not genuinely boiling alive to a crisp, we will be talking. Well, Joey will probably have some questions for me by then, and I'll be rating every single aircraft from the nanosecond, like the absolute smallest timepiece of the aircraft propeller even being thought of moved, all the way to when the propeller is even being thought of like completely coming to a stop of every aircraft. I will be giving you a rating of that. So we do hope you enjoyed. Joey, you're not going to do a 2 minute recap because we basically just went through a 5 minute recap, so unlucky.
plans and plans.
Yeah, plane fly, plane doesn't fly, plane in a tree, plane cousin, plane land, plane gay. There we go. So that's pretty plain
Yeah,
simple if you ask me. All right, we're gonna end the episode there, guys. We'll see you next. Well, yeah, we'll see you next Sunday. Take care. Well, Monday for the promos. Anyway, we'll see you at some point next week, I'm sure, as long as I've not evaporated into a crisp. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you then.